Welcome to the future. Welcome to Bitcoin Bitumers. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a true pleasure to be here with you. We hope you had a great vacation. We are starting the course with strength. And as you know, at Bit2Me, we are always working, looking for the best projects to list on the Launchpad. In today's interview, we are going to introduce the new project that we will have available, Trakx, and one of its founders will join us. The interview will be in English in this case, but we encourage you to ask anything you want, so I will switch to English. I proactively tell you that if you want to ask questions, we will also try to add subtitles in some way so that you can follow along with the interview. Well, we have the founding CEO of Trakx, the project that we have with us. Hello, Leonel. Welcome to Bit2Me.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Buenos días.
Buenos días, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
So it's a real pleasure.
Sí.
So it's a real pleasure for us. We chose to do the interview in English because we think it's going to be more convenient, because Leonel had to explain to most of the people this project in this language, no? But as I said, feel free to ask if you have any questions, and we will try to answer you in live. So Leonel has a very long experience in data analyst and also in the financial system, and they find out about this technology and start to try new tools that could be very useful for everyone, no? So Leonel, first, if you want to introduce yourself so people know you better, about your background, about your history, and how did you get engaged with this ecosystem of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, that would be very interesting.
Yeah, of course. Hi. So I'm Leonel Robibo, co-founder and the CEO at Trakx. So I have indeed a background in traditional finance, where I spent 17 years as a desk analyst, trader, and I was focusing on different kind of asset classes. And 7 years ago now, I discovered first actually the blockchain technology, which I found super interesting. I just discovered it a bit after actually the great financial crisis, and then after this I discovered also the asset class. I couldn't put connect the dots between the two, and I started to look into it, and I really genuinely loved the asset class itself. I thought there was a lot of things to do. There would be long-term adoption. It would be a very long journey, but I found it very exciting. So that's how I came into the ecosystem.
So for us it's very important, very excited to see how the traditional finance world and the blockchain, the Bitcoin cryptocurrency ecosystem is merging, and we are building new tools as you are doing with Trakx. Before we start and I ask you more about the project, Leonel, let me give the dates that are going to be available, your token in Bit2Me. So it's very clear, but in Spanish. I'm going to do this part in Spanish because I think it's important for everyone to understand very clear. Well, let's take a moment. Leonel, to also explain the reservation dates for the Trakx token, something that is very important and can be done starting from September 25th at 10 a.m. And this will last approximately until the date of October 6th at 12 p.m. The second is the execution, the opening, but during that week is when reservations can be made. In any case, if you have any questions, you can contact the support team for more inquiries. As always, you make a deposit, and with that deposit, you will be able to make the pre-reservation on the Bit2Me Launchpad. Let's continue. Well, said that, I'm going to move, Leonel, straight away, so you can explain us how did you gather your team, how did you move to this project, and what is your goal, what do you want to aim, and all the views that you want to share with us.
Yeah, of course. So like I said very quickly before, at a high level, our vision was that in the long term, crypto assets will be part of, pretty much all the investment portfolio from traditional investors, because there's a lot of very interesting angles. But our view as well at the same time is, there's a lot of friction still, and a lot of barriers to entry that we need to lift before we fully democratize this asset class. So we decided basically to embark on a mission to offer a seamless access to crypto assets, which is not only simple, but also safe and strictly compliant from a regulatory standpoint.
Mm-hmm. So the core or the main advantages or the tools that you can find with your product, how is it designed? What is it going to bring in positive for the users, the people who wants to get involved in your launch? How is it going to be built? Or what are the benefits that
Yes.
I'm going to be able to enjoy?
Yeah, so maybe, just to reiterate my point, we focus on three key pillars, which I just mentioned. I mean, the first one is obviously a simple and seamless access to this asset class. And by that, I mean, access through different distribution channels, including our own exchange. So that's one thing, seamless access. Then the type of product itself is really at the core of our positioning, really. For those who are not familiar with indices, just think about, the S&P 500 or, IBEX 35, for example, in Spain. They give you basically a broad exposure to a market. In this case, I mean, in our case, in the crypto market, in the case of IBEX, for example, to the stock market, without all the hassles. And we can come into, the key advantages of those products a bit later. But in general, the concept is very similar to ETFs, which has proven itself quite a lot, I think, over the past 15 to 20 years. Again, the product themselves are not enough. I mean, they are the shining product. It's our key focus. It's our key IP as well. But it's really the coverage of the whole value chain that we believe is going to be key for our success going forward. So the integration of this and the security of the security that we provide, not only on the tech side where we invested heavily over the past 5 years, the indices themselves are what we call the CTIs, so Crypto Tradable Indices. They are all asset backed. So that means when you invest €1 in any given product, we use this euro to buy crypto assets. And very importantly, we put those crypto assets in segregated accounts. So at a safe custodian. We also very importantly mitigate all the counterparty risks. Like when we trade those constituents, so those crypto assets on different exchanges, we don't leave those assets on those exchanges, but we move them almost automatically and simultaneously to segregated accounts at a custodian. And lastly, we don't use leverage, we don't use derivatives, we only do spot, we don't do lending. We just want to provide a seamless and safe access to our products again. So we don't do anything crazy, but we want investors to access without hassles and without worrying too much about their exposure to this asset class. And lastly, I think that the last key pillar really where we want to focus a lot on, and from day one really, is the regulation. We're amongst the first ones to be regulated. We're the first ones to be regulated 4 times by the French AMF, so the French regulator. We believe it's very important. It's very important to put our investors and clients at ease. And we're already working on the transition to MiCA as we speak. So it's the last it's the last pillar where we really want to put a lot of effort on.
Okay, so very interesting, very interesting. So you are bringing tools that we enjoy in the traditional financial system to the crypto ecosystem. You build a platform that we were showing while you were speaking. Could you tell us about the tools, or if it's full operative, the platform that you have online already, and what are the parts that people need to find out, or what would you like to highlight so people understand much better what is the functionality when they go to the platform, and then we will move to the use of the token.
Yeah, of course. So again, the platform to make sure it's a tool. It's a very important one for us, but it's only a tool to facilitate the access to our product and to facilitate the exchange of our product. But the most important part the most important thing, I guess, to remember is we cover the whole value chain end to end, and it's basically the sum of the parts which makes it really valuable. But in a nutshell, when you go onto the Trakx platform, you onboard yourself. You obviously need to do your KYC ML checks, and once you're there, you deposit USDC. If you don't have USDC, then we can provide you with an on-ramp solution if you're starting in this ecosystem. And from that, you're free to buy any of the product that we offer. It can be thematic product baskets, it can be smart beta products, alpha products. So it's as easy as this. Basically, you go to the trading platform, you found your account, and with that, you can buy any of the products that we offer on the platform. So it's very similar in that sense to a traditional exchange.
Well, we are going to leave the details of your platform in this interview in the box of the in the comments, so you can visit it already if you want. Now, moving to the token. So, what is the purpose, and why do you think launching a token will make the experience much more successful?
Yeah. So for us, the token, we decided to grow into the retail segment very recently, and we thought, either we really basically spend a fortune trying to acquire a retail customer, or we just launch our token and we try to grow the retail ecosystem from within, which I think is much more powerful, frankly. So we decided to put the Trakx token at the epicenter of this ecosystem and grow it from within, basically. So at the core, it very much looks like an exchange token like BNB, Bitgate, Woo, and so on. So you get obviously discounts on trading fees, management fees. You get a buyback and burn feature. You get staking features. But for us, I'd say equally importantly, if not more importantly, we want to gamify really the approach. So provide incentives on deposits, trading, referral boosters. We want to organize trading competitions, do copy trading for the winners of those competitions, and create their own CTIs, and so on and so forth. So, but then there's more to that, basically. So that's really, I'd say, the common denominator with all the existing stuffs. But in particular, because we cover the whole value chain, the idea was for us to give the community the opportunity to manage part of the value chain. So you get basically incentives provided to the liquidity provider, to what we call the index providing. So, so the selection of the underlying assets, they're here to make sure also that we don't take too much risks with all the blockchain we use, the bridges, the staking or not, the liquidity of the assets, and so on. So it's really at the core of the proposal. It's we want to emulate something within this ecosystem and make sure that the users participate to the adventure, broadly speaking. And then obviously there will be a lot of small perks, like particular to the token holders, like they will have like a specific access to more like high value added products, like alpha products. Sometimes access also to thematic baskets, but ahead of the other users, so that they have an advantage there. And obviously on the services side, we provide white glove services, education on the asset class, and so on and so forth. And lastly, and that's probably a key use case going forward, we want some token holders, not all, but some token holders, to have the possibility to create their own CTIs. The white labeling and gray labeling solution is a very big growth engine at Trakx, in that we provide like a turnkey solution where we manage everything end to end with an unbeatable time to market. We think there's a lot of value in this part. So we want token holders to be able, some token holders again, to be able to create their own product, and then that will drive part of the growth potential on the token itself.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. So there's a wide number of features that you are developing with TRKX. So how does the token buyback and buy program is going to work to support the value, and also about the governance that you mentioned? How is it going to influence the decision in the future of the project?
Yeah, so the buyback and burn. So we did a pretty detailed analysis on that, and we effectively found that buyback and burn programs usually explains a decent part of the long-term value creation of tokens. So really this feature is quite value accretive indeed. Mm-hmm. However, we also found in the same analysis that this has to be done discretionarily. If you plan too much ahead and the market starts anticipating it, then the impact of the buyback and burn tends to fade. So the idea is really to use it partly, but not only for OTC purchases, which we'll do occasionally with the accumulated cash to reduce the potential bumps. Again, to me, it's one of the key features in that it really aligns the interests of the token holders with the adoption of Trakx in general. I mean, on the product of Trakx, which are distributed through the platform. So that's this. And on the governance side, again, part of the tech is still centralized for practical reasons, I'd say, but the idea is to mitigate that by offering a good governance, which will be done via the Trakx tokens mostly. So it can go from the selection of the product, which go in and out of the platform. It's very important to engage the community on that, up to the risks to take on those products. Like I said, like all the internal debates we keep having on whether we should do staking or not, lending or not, we should use wrap tokens, we should use this or that blockchain, and so on and so forth. Check also the monthly rebalancing, because all those products that we offer, the composition of those products keeps changing. So we do it, at a determined frequency. And but that's the team which does it. It's a highly experienced team, arguably, but it's still a team. Whereas in this case, we'd like the community to get involved and do effectively check and balances on what we do and make sure that we do everything perfectly well. So in a nutshell, we really want genuinely the community to get involved in all those processes, bearing in mind that we cover the whole value chain end to end. So there's a lot of things where we ought to leverage basically the community engagement and reward them as such, of course.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask you about the community, but before, Leonel, I would like to go a little bit deeper in the platform features and indices. So Trakx offers a wide variety, as you are explaining, of thematic crypto indices. Could you walk us through some of the most popular ones and the specific appeal for the investors?
Yeah, I mean, basically, before being too specific on which products are more appealing, maybe in general, we should focus on what are the key advantages of those so-called CTIs. I think it's very important. Like we said, at a high level, it gives you a broad exposure, but also to go a bit more into details, you don't have to do stock picking. So this asset class is very rich in a way, and there's not just bitcoins. There's a lot of various crypto assets, and it's hard to even when you spend a lot of time trying to understand everything, it's hard to be aware of everything. So one of the key advantage of those products is you don't have to do stock picking. The other key advantage is, you have a good diversification in your investments. The other thing is, you don't have to do what we call rebalancing. So change the constituents on a regular basis. We do it for you, and soon, hopefully, the community will help us to do that. And one last important point I think is worth mentioning is the access is very fragmented. When you want to get exposed to a specific theme, you usually need to trade on different trading platforms, and by the way, take the counterparty risk and the liquidity risk on those platforms. So, everything we want to provide like a seamless access, like I said, and that's, the key advantages of, trading on the Trakx platform and accessing those products. Everything is done under one roof. Having said that, to answer a bit more directly your question, obviously what works very well are all the the broad-based products. It can be top 10 products, but more importantly, more and more, I think, and it tells a lot in a way in terms of where we are in the adoption phase of this asset class. People are going to more thematic products like AI, RWA, DePIN, and interestingly as well, meme coins, which we introduced like a couple of months ago. So, these tend to be quite popular products, and which the market like to focus on. And, the idea is for us to launch more of these themes going forward. We built the whole tech over the past couple of years. Now we can launch literally in a matter of a couple of hours new products. So there will be plenty more coming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you are working, developing new tools, new features, as you explained. Something you mentioned as well is the importance of the partnership community and the growth, of the platform and the ecosystem. So I read and I find out that your community is expanding very quick and very fast. So how is important for your project? The community engagement for us in Bit2Me is one of the most key elements that make us achieve what we all where we are today. It's thanks to the community, So what are the strategies that you are using to grow your base and your partnerships and the growth moving forward?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously B2Me has achieved a lot, and it's a very good example we'd like to use basically and converge towards. I mean, the community that you built is very strong, and we ought to do exactly the same. I think, obviously, without community, you can't grow the retail ecosystem. There's no better way and no more powerful way to grow a product and to grow services without the engagement of the community. Of course, you need to make sure they're happy with what they do, but it's not enough these days. These days you genuinely need the community to participate to the adventure, otherwise they don't have the same interest. And by that, there's of course the economic aspect. So, all the participants to the ecosystem will be remunerated. Mm-hmm. But as much importantly, they need to participate to an adventure, which is I think very, very exciting indeed. So without the community, I think you can't grow properly a business these days. So we really are going to focus a lot on that aspect.
Mm-hmm. So I read, correct me if I'm wrong, that you have or you are thinking Trakx ambassador program, no? So moving forward in 1 year time, how do you think it's going to be built? How do you think leaders are going to contribute to the growth of the platform?
Yes, ambassadors, they are very key. I mean, ambassadors in general, influencers, it works by communities, like sub-communities, if I may say so. The thing is, for us, ambassadors are going to be key to target some new geographies where we don't have enough focus these days. The beauty of our business is it's dematerialized. We can sell those products to almost anywhere in the world. The difficulty, though, is to reach out to the potential users in those geographies. And I think there's no more powerful way than do it through partnerships, including with ambassadors. So that's, for us in 2025, we're going to focus a lot on the growth in different parts of the globe. And ambassadors, are very, very useful to help us achieving this goal.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's something I wanted to ask you, Leonel, about the future outlook that you are foreseeing, for the project in general, in terms of geography. Where do you want to expand? Of course, Spain and Spanish-speaking countries. We are very excited to help you out with this part. But where do you see in 2-3 years the project and the milestones that you want to achieve, to aim for?
Yes. So we're too early. Frankly, we were too early when we started a couple of years ago, and now we're definitely not early, or it's starting to move very quickly. And then we're very fortunate to have built a very strong tech, to have assembled a very strong team, but it's moving very fast. So as I see it, I think a lot of things will happen. One, the index business will grow very nicely. There will be adoption from both institutional and more retail investors. But like I said, this has to be done in a efficient and seamless manner. It's very, very importantly, this will happen through different channels. I think it can be dangerous to corner yourself in one particular segment, just digital or just traditional. Mm-hmm. I think we need to be nimble and agile and leverage both ecosystem, and that's what we're doing at Trakx. The important thing is for us to provide the access to those products, be it in the digital native manner directly onto our platform, or through partners, or do it through traditional channels like broker dealers. The important thing is just to do it. So that's going to be a very important thing to going forward. On what we're going to focus on a lot, I think it's the UX. We started recently, opening up to retail investors. We already get a lot of feedbacks on the on-ramp, on the user experience, on the UI. So there's a lot of very like on the blockchains which we need to add. There's a lot of feedbacks we already got. But again, the bigger your community and stronger your community, the more likely you're gonna develop features, tools, and products and services which are adapted to their needs. So we're going to focus a lot on UI UX over the next year on the platform. And then in particular, so in terms of geographies in particular, we're focusing initially on the European market. The Spanish market, we started to onboard actually some Spanish customers, interestingly, but we'll definitely put much more focus there. I think in general, not just in Spain, but in general, crypto adoption will grow quite substantially over the next couple of years. There was a lot of reluctancy to adopt this asset class, but now it's becoming more and more mainstream. So we'll target key geographies like Europe, including Southern Europe, but also try to grow in some areas which we just started to penetrate, like Asia, where there's a lot of appetite for both crypto assets and index products. Mm-hmm. And GCC countries as well, which is growing very rapidly now on this asset class. So that's going to be our key focus going forward.
Well, the future looks very bright, Leonel. I think you have planned everything in detail, and we are very happy to join you in this adventure, in this track that we are starting. I'm going to remember the dates of the launch of the token in Spanish again, because I think it's very important. While people start to ask questions, if we cannot answer now, we will leave you the reply later on. No worries about it. So, well, before we finish with everything that Leonel has explained to us, which has been tremendously interesting about the index, the platform, and the utilities of Trakx, let's remember, although we have already mentioned it, the dates for the opening of the reservation token sale starting on the 25th at 10 a.m. Reservations can be made until October 1st at 12 p.m. Okay? And the execution would be the following day on October 2nd. So as I mentioned before, if you have any questions or concerns about the project, feel free to leave them here in the comments or in the chat. And if there are any more questions about how to make the reservation, we will be happy to help you. Well, Leonel, I want to thank you, but before we end, I'd like you to share your view or some of the ideas you would like to transmit, you would like to give to the Bit2Me community about your project, about everything you said, that I think it was very, very clear. So we go on and well, for us it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks a lot for inviting me. It was a real pleasure to have this interview with you guys. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to reiterate my point that we need you. Basically, we need the community not just to invest in the Trakx token, but much beyond. Basically, participate to the adventure in general, and this very, very exciting adventure in a new industry with a new asset class. I think it's about positioning yourselves. It's going to take a bit of time to unfold, but the addressable market is insanely big. So for people with a long-term view on this asset class, we'd love to have you as community members.
Well, thank you so much, Leonel. It's been a real pleasure, and thank you all the community, everyone that is watching us. As we said, please leave all your questions in the comments box. We will be happy to answer you. If you have any questions that you would like us to pass on to Leonel or his team, don't hesitate to let us know, and we will also respond to you. Okay?
I understand Spanish, right? I can speak Spanish too, but I haven't practiced for about 10 years.
No, you speak very well. You speak very well, and we also appreciate your effort. Leonel, thank you very much. As I said, it has been a real pleasure. Trakx will be available very soon on Bit2Me. You have the platform if you want to visit it, to conduct your tests, to explore, and to see if you have any further questions about the whole matter. Thanks, Leonel. Itrina huge. It's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you, Jose, for being at the controls, and see you soon.
Thank you very much, BME. Thank you very much to the entire BME community.
See you. Thank you.